Vols are back.
Can't kill it. Can't kill it. Go.
They waiting outside. They flooding the gates, I'm flooding the wrist. Like no, I ain't got it. Stormy and Scott. It Houston like when he got my brothers with me. We lighting the city on fire. Protect my Achilles, cause they tryna kill me, but I never been so alive. Yeah. Whiplash, we get whiplash, we get so live. Whiplash, all night. We lit, we get whiplash, all night, all night, all night.
Can't kill it. Go.
Dummy paper, but I never fall for anyone. She a 9 plus 10, yeah, you know that equal 21. Savage big in a rap, it's a brand, keep it running. Drip her out in Bulgari, and she know she bad. I'm like God, she like Bonnie. I came from the bottom, please don't ask me what it took. I got demons in my past, but my angels keep on shook. Man down, I can't hear a sound. Walk out on your block, I hear silence in the slide. Man down, me a writer, raise a toast. Tryna shadow bend my boy, but you can't kill a ghost.
Defensive back, Alabama. 28-3, good one. We've heard that before.
I'm assuming.
Oh, Squid, you're muted.
Yeah, I tend to do that sometimes. But talk about a bunch of absolute buffoons. Look at here. Look at the friggin' Falcons. Talk about a draft completely screwed over. But we'll get into that and a whole lot more today. Oi, fellow comrades, it is Squidtard here, as well as my boys, Mr. Lucas Sharp and Mr. Julio Rodriguez. And welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Vol Star Podcast. We do the show every single Monday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a great time over here. So whether or not you're a fan of Tennessee or not, we're glad to have you guys over here. And it means a lot that you're here on the show with us. We talk about all kinds of sports on here, not just Vol sports. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And we got a full slate of things to talk about today. Some baseball news. Of course, we'll talk about the NFL draft, talk about where all the Tennessee players have gone, and a whole lot more basketball stuff. So we've got a lot of things to talk about today. And before we get into it, I just want to ask our co-hosts here how you guys are doing today.
We're good. I'm good. Sorry, let's see. We're good.
Yeah, doing pretty good. I decided to go to Walmart and finally get some new batteries for this thing. This little lantern thing that I got. Let's I guess I'll turn it on for you guys. Oh, that's Alabama red.
Oh no, so that's not just the camera.
Yeah, let me change the color. Oh, now it's Kentucky blue.
What in the world is this?
I don't know.
Trolling?
But let's see. There we go. That's Tennessee orange, even though it can't really see it that well, but it's Tennessee orange.
You had it on white earlier. I think either way that'd look pretty cool at night when all the lights are off and all you can see is a big power T in your room. That's where it's at.
Yeah,
where it's at right there. What's going on, Neo? Glad to see you in the stream, buddy. So we got a lot of things to talk about for today's show. Julio, anything going on with you, buddy?
Nothing really.
All right. Well, with all that being said, let's roll into our topics for today. Of course, like I mentioned at the start of the show, if this is your first time being here, thank you guys so much for doing so. Of course, we are official. We aren't affiliated with the University of Tennessee, but we are full-time, big-time Tennessee fans over here. And that's all there is to it. So for every single member of our audience here is greatly appreciated. And we're glad to have you guys around for today's show. So we got a lot of great things to talk about for today. And we're going to start out, usually I start out with the football news, but I'm going to leave that to the latter half of today's show. We're going to start out with some business standing per se. And we're going to talk about the baseball team They swept, not just won the series, but swept the Missouri Tigers, beat them 10-1 in the first game, and then 3-2 twice in a row to sweep the Missouri Tigers. So a great win for Tennessee, great set of wins for Tennessee, and another series dub. We just continue to dominate in terms of home runs and other statistics that I can't really recall on the show. You guys got any thoughts on the baseball team?
I think right now, I think we're probably the hottest team. I would probably say in college baseball. I can't really think of another hotter team.
A&M's playing pretty good.
I mean, I guess. I mean, but I think they lost. I think at least one game.
Yeah, to Georgia. But Georgia's a top 20 team, so it's not embarrassing.
Oh yeah, it's not an embarrassing loss. So I feel like right now we're probably the hottest. But I mean, here's the other thing though. A&M is what? I think they're number one right now.
Yeah, they're the number one team in the country at the moment.
That's good. But I'm just kind of scared for us right now because I don't want to be number one. I really don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
keep us away from that one seed.
Definitely feels like we have a target on our back. So I don't know. We'll see how it pans out. But another series win. We've got a relaxation game coming up, I believe, tomorrow against whoever, some random Jamoke College.
Yeah, some random. Yeah, the Alabama School of the Blind.
Yeah. Point is, Tennessee should have a nice, clean tune-up game to get ready for another SEC series down the line. So we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, another thing I want to touch on now is since, of course, we swept Missouri, Kentucky went out and lost their series to South Carolina. So thank you, South Carolina, for doing some business for us because now we are just one game behind for first place in the SEC East. So, yeah, thank you, South Carolina. For the first time ever, they finally come up clutch for us.
Pick up your shovel and get back to the coal mines, baby.
But yeah, man, we broke Kentucky.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So the good news just keeps getting gooder, if you could say so. I'll talk about the softball team real quick, touch up on them. More good news to add to the table. They won their series against Alabama. Unfortunately, no sweep here. They lost the last game 0-1, but they did win the first two, beat them 5-0 and then 2-0. So another dominant performance by the softball team, doing more work as they should be.
Yeah, right now, our softball team is, in my opinion, clearly the best in the SEC. Literally, who's the second best in the SEC? I guess, I don't know, Alabama, I guess.
I legitimately cannot name you guys. I think it's happened before, but I do not remember the last episode of the podcast that we did where I said, well, unfortunately, the softball team has lost. I lost the series. I can't recall.
So,
Yeah.
I think the team that was behind us was, I think, LSU, but I think they've been on a losing streak.
Yeah, we broke them because we won the series against them.
Speaking of LSU, what's going on, Ian the Hyper? Glad to see you in here, as well as Mr. Atypical Gump. What's going on, fellas?
Man, we're drawing in some Bama fans tonight.
I guess so. Of course, for all of you in the comment section, whether you're on Twitter or YouTube, if you have any questions or just want to talk about whatever goes on over here at the Vol-Star Podcast or anything else, feel free to leave a comment in the live chat below, and we will respond accordingly between topics. So we'll see how that pans out. Another topic here, let's go over to some basketball news. There really isn't much to talk about in terms of Lady Vols content, but of course, former Lady Vol Candace Parker, big-time legend, has retired. So, yeah.
Give her a standing O. She deserves it, man.
Yes. She's the GOAT. What else can you say? So glad, she had a phenomenal career. And, salute to her.
Yeah, but I will say, though, if she wants to get into coaching, I think Kim Caldwell wouldn't mind bringing her on the staff.
Yeah, no, that would be a great move. So, yeah, all cheers in the world to that.
The only thing is, I don't think she'll do is she gets paid too much money on the
Oh yeah, because she
For
does the March Madness
TV.
thing.
or TV and NBA stuff also.
Oh, so Nick Saban. But anyway, so that's really there really isn't much else to talk about with the Lady Vols. But other than that, I mean, you got men's basketball and some big things happen with them over this week. Some big recruiting news through the transfer portal. First off, Ohio State center transfer Felix Okpara commits to Tennessee. That is a big pickup right there. I've heard a lot of great things about this guy. And so he's 6'11". He averaged 6.6 points per game, 6.4. He's 6.6 points per game. And he's second in the Big Ten for blocks per game. So that's some pretty good stats right there. Hard to argue with that. I guess y'all can agree with me there.
Yeah, very excited for Felix Okpara. Hopefully, unlike another certain player we're probably going to touch up here in a little bit, he's not Charmin soft and actually attacks the rim.
Dang.
Okay, so I was gonna say I think y'all are talking about Igor, right? The one that just recently committed.
Who?
Well,
you're talking about Igor Milicic.
Yeah,
we're going to touch on him too, but we're talking about Okpara, the Ohio State.
Okay. I didn't know. I couldn't remember which one you were talking about because they both kind of had that same thing. But I think Igor's, of course, I think more of an offensive player than a defensive player. And then I think Okpara, I'm pretty sure he's a little bit more. I think maybe a little bit more defensive. Maybe I'm wrong, but. If I remember correctly, though, Igor, his dad, I think, is a coach. If y'all can search that, I'm pretty sure his dad's a coach.
He is. I saw it. He is.
I think his dad also played in the Euro League. So,
all right, well, good to hear. So yeah, of course, as Julio just touched up on, Igor Milicic Jr. transferred from Charlotte, commits to Tennessee as well. So Tennessee, Rick Barnes doing some work through the transfer portal. And that's exactly what we needed after the absolute exodus that was some of these players going off and going wherever else.
Has Chaz Lanier committed yet? Because I know that
no, he hasn't committed yet, but I would feel like he's going to soon because I know as soon as he entered the portal, he said do not text, and that basically shows that he already knows where he's gonna go. And Tennessee, so Rick Barnes is the one who's been recruiting him the absolute most. I would think that he commits to Tennessee sometime soon.
Spicy.
Yeah, so spicy. It's so spicy. My tongue is burning off. Yeah, so hot take alert. Hot take alert. Yeah, I said hot take alert.
Oh, that's the hot take alert. Okay.
Yeah, Chaz Lanier's about to commit to Tennessee, even though it's not even a hot take because he's going to commit to Tennessee at some point. I don't know when.
somewhere soon, I'd hope. I'm tired of the anticipation. So, so that's the basketball news for this week. Not much else there, but we do have some spectacular football news. Of course, the NFL draft happened over the course of this week. I live streamed it, or at least halfway live streamed the first round. And then got bored halfway through, like a lot of people do doing that because it's 4 hours long, more than half of it's commercial breaks because they extend the amount of commercial time every single year, and it gets more and more agonizing each and every time to watch the draft, especially when a Tennessee player is not even drafted. But anyway, all that aside, we did have some Tennessee news regarding this, of course. A lot of players heading to the NFL for the Tennessee Vols. 3 players got drafted. Jalen Wright, 4th round to the Miami Dolphins. So he'll be really good. Joe Milton. Joe Milton did get drafted. As crazy as that sounds to some of you, because some of y'all told me that he's the worst quarterback in the history of history. Joe Milton did indeed get drafted to the New England Patriots in the 6th round.
Yep. The last quarterback to go to the Patriots in the 6th round was Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, don't tell Michigan fans that. Michigan fans hate Joe Milton more than anything imaginable. Michigan fans and Joe Milton, I can't tell what they hate more. I can't tell what Michigan fans hate more, Joe Milton or Ohio State. It's a close race, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he does go in the 6th round to the Patriots. And who wouldn't want a guy like that? Big arm, incredible athlete with a lot of running ability. If he works out his accuracy issues, he's literally, the sky's the limit with Joe Milton. So
if he works on his accuracy.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you. So I was about to bring up Rickers again. Anyway, of course, he wasn't. Those two weren't the only players to get drafted. Also in the 6th round, Kamal Hadden. Yes, Kamal Hadden did get drafted in the 6th rounds. He's going off to the Kansas City Chiefs. So another big pickup right there. And I think he's going to make some noise. I think he's going to make a lot of noise over with the Chiefs. Now, we did have a lot of free agents, so bear with me here. I'm just going to list off all of these real quick, and then we can move on. So, McCallum Castles going off to the Eagles. Ramel Keaton to the Raiders. Jacob Warren to the Patriots. He's going off to play with Joe Milton. D. Williams to the Seahawks. Jalen McCullough to the Rams. Gabe Juliolali to the Titans. Aaron Beasley also to the Seahawks with D. Williams. And then finally, Jabari Small also going with Juliolali to the Titans. So there's your list of free agents. Got a lot of players going from Tennessee to a select amount of teams in the NFL. So who do y'all think out of those list of players, including the ones that got drafted, who do y'all think is going to be the most explosive player?
It's either going to be Gabe Juliolali or Jabari Small.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. You think they stick around long enough for them to even play a snap with the Titans?
Yes.
I don't know. The only thing is Jabari is that his shoulders are bad, so I don't know how good his how good his shoulders are feeling, because I know you've had that problem since early at his time at Tennessee. Now, I think if he's healthy, I think maybe he could get on there, because the thing is with running backs, of course, a lot of them get injured, but also on top of that, they're also one of the ones that they wouldn't hesitate, picking up from the practice squad. But Gabe Judy-Lawley also is probably the one that's healthier, so. But they hardly ever call up corners.
Oh, I think I did forget one in terms of free agents. Jeremiah Crawford went to the Panthers. I don't know if I said that one, but yeah, he did go there, and then he might make some noise over there. They need as many of those guys as they can get.
Yeah, but realistically, if I had to say the highest one, the player that has the highest chance of succeeding in the NFL is probably Jalen Wright, because of his speed, and also he's able to make guys miss. He was one of the best running backs to enter the draft. I'm honestly surprised he went that late.
I'm a little surprised that Ramel Keaton even got the chance to go, because he had a very lackluster senior year. I'm glad he went. I'm glad he got even a free agent spot. But Ramel Keaton needs to have a much better offseason, a much better performance in the NFL if he wants to keep playing, because he had a very, very disappointing senior year.
Yeah, but speaking of the draft, what about some future Vols who could enter the NFL next year, like James Pierce?
No question there. James Pierce, number one.
I've heard PFF say that they think he's going to be the number one overall pick. At the very worst, he should be a top 5 overall.
Well, did y'all also see where it was they had released the betting odds? One sportsbook did, and it was Shadur Sanders was the number 1 pick or something like that. Yeah. They had Shadur Sanders plus 300 or 500, and then they had Carson Beck, and then they had a bunch of other people. James Pierce wasn't even on the list, and he was minus 2,000 for the number one pick, and I was like, God, are y'all just handing out free money?
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
because he went to the University of Tennessee. What can I say? It's because he went to the University of Tennessee.
Now,
I mean,
I could. Now, here's the thing: I could definitely see, um, um, someone drafting Shadur Sanders first. Like if the team's really desperate or something, like say the Panthers think maybe they could get Dion with Shadur, then I think maybe. But other than that, I see no reason right now why you shouldn't take James Pierce number one.
Yeah, because he's clearly the best college. He's clearly the best defensive player entering the draft next year.
I've seen some mock drafts which have had like Carson Beck going in like number one, which would be, I mean, whoever does that, if you pick your number one draft pick and you pick up Carson Beck, I'm sorry, you deserve to flop for that.
Yeah, I'm laughing at you if they actually do that. Like, literally, there's basically no good quarterbacks in next year's draft.
Yes, it's not a really good quarterback room. The whole again, people are going to say that they're going to pick this up and be like, "Oh, he's just saying this because he's from Georgia." No, Carson Beck is heavily carried by the defense, and it's not to say that he's a bad quarterback or even an average quarterback. He's good. He's a good quarterback. He's at least top 5, if not top 3 in the SEC. But you got people running around saying, "Oh, he's better than Quinn Ewers, better than Jackson Dart, better than whoever you could." I mean, I'm sorry, you put any other quarterback in that position, and they'd probably succeed just as well because Georgia has a bunch of first-round talent on their offensive line. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
it's just kind of the reality of the situation here. Again, good quarterback, but not number one pick in the NFL draft worthy.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I've seen some which have had Travis Hunter go up really high, and that does make sense.
Yeah.
Dual player, dual position player.
Yeah, that one actually makes sense. He's going to be a first rounder.
I've heard a lot of people say that the first defensive player getting picked up will be either Mason Graham or Will Johnson, which, they're both really good players. Not going to deny that, but I don't know if you're looking for a guy that can defend the line or go on edge, then yeah, James Pierce is absolutely the first pick there.
Well, here's the thing about him: he can also drop into coverage.
He can.
Like
he got that pick 6 against Iowa.
Yeah, I know. Like a lot of people forget, like some of those defensive ends now can actually like cover a little. I mean, they're not like the best. They're not gonna, stop a prime Jerry Rice or anything like that. But I mean, he can drop into coverage a little bit and catch you lacking if you don't pay attention.
Yep, perfect size, speed, hands. He can do everything. Like.
Also, he's extremely quick. I don't know if some people maybe have not didn't watch the Iowa game, but whenever he caught that, for the pick 6, he was scooting. He was outrunning everybody.
Yep. If James Pierce doesn't at least go top 5 overall, I'm going to be shocked. If he falls past the top 5, I'm going to be shocked.
Well, I think if he's not top 5. And if he somehow falls out of top 5, and it's not like injury related, I think people need to have their head checked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would even say if he falls out of the top 3, I would say that, some people might need their head checked.
But yeah, I'm very excited for James Pierce to go in the top 5. Because like we need more Vol players in the NFL, because I do think the more Vol players that enter the NFL, the better, the more we can actually show these recruits on how well we can put players into the NFL. Be like, hey, look, we put so and so into the NFL. If you come here, we could put you into the NFL. So
I think there's a possibility we have back-to-back number 1 picks.
Yeah, with Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
possibly. I don't know. Well, it's a little too early to call that.
Well, I'm just saying that if if Nico does what I think he's gonna do, and I hate to say this, but no, and I don't really hate to say it, but I think that if he just fills out his frame a little bit, like just if he looks maybe a little bit bigger or whatever, and that he shows consistently that when he can escape the pocket like he did, in the Iowa game, because we've only seen him play one game,
Mm-hmm.
and he still does well as a passer. I just don't like right now. I mean, I can't really think of like too many quarterbacks you would probably rate above him. Like he's got everything you would want as an NFL scout, unless like his skinnier frame is like holding you back a little bit, which I don't think it really should. Because I mean, there's been skinnier quarterbacks, and I mean he's not like 170 or 180 like he was coming out of high school. Now he's 215. He or some, if I remember correctly, he was like 200 or 215, I think.
Right. I've heard a lot of Kentucky fans are really, really high on like Deion Walker making a top 10.
Yeah, Dion Walker definitely will.
He's good. He's good.
I mean, because Dion Walker. Here's the thing: as soon as I saw him play as a freshman, I knew he was going high in the draft. He's just too athletic of a lineman not to. There's just certain players that I think if you watch college football as a college football fan, not as a Tennessee fan, but just like as a college football fan, like if you just watch certain games, I think there's just certain players that you can just tell that are going to be good NFL players, like no matter what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Deion Walker's one of them. I think he'll end up being a really good NFL player. It's the same thing. The reason I was so high on Patrick Mahomes was because I watched that Baker Mayfield game where they both threw for like 700 plus yards. And the thing was, I was more impressed with Patrick Mahomes than I was Baker Mayfield because one, Patrick Mahomes was on the worst. He was on the worst team out of that. He was on the worst team out of that situation. He still put up just as much, about as much numbers as him. He also did it primarily through air raid, while also Oklahoma also had Samaje Perine, who was a good college back, and then also on top of that, like let's be honest here, he did not have the weapons that Baker Mayfield had
Yeah.
at receiver, and he was still out there dealing with him, and that's the thing that held Texas Tech back was Cliff Kingsbury at head coach. Like he knows how to develop and scout quarterback talent. Like I think he would make a great college QB coach because he was the first. He was the first coach to offer Bryce Young in like 7th or 8th grade. So he definitely knows QB talent and how to spot it. But like other than that, he's kind of ass as a head coach, and that kind of showed in the NFL too.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. So a lot of these drafts I've been looking at a bunch of these mock drafts. They do have quite a bit of consistency, all at the exception of CBS, which is the stupid one that Lucas was talking about earlier. So a lot of them are the Panthers picking first, and it's either James Pierce or JT Tuimoloau from Ohio State. Travis Hunter goes up really high. A lot of these have the Titans either picking Will Johnson or the
Luther Burden.
Yeah. Well, this one actually has him picking Emeka Ibuka.
It's a good thing the Titans won't be picking that high.
And most of these either have the Giants selecting Ewers or Carson Beck or somebody like that. Other than that, most of these are exactly the same. The Saints picking Ollie Gordon. This one right here. This one's by Fox Sports. I'm just looking through, trying to see kind of some consistencies with exactly who is picking what. Not much, not too many differences. In this one, Jalen Milroe goes in the first round to the Cleveland Browns of all teams.
The Browns. Okay. So, okay, so I wanted to touch on some that the Cowboys did or whatever
Uh-huh.
in the draft. Now, I know we needed an offensive tackling as a Cowboys fan and stuff like that since we definitely got an older line. And I was fine with them picking that in the first round. But I was thinking that we should go after the BYU tackle Kingsley Sayu something. Anyway, Samoan. I don't want to butcher his name. Anyway, I'm just gonna call him Kingsley because I'm not gonna butcher his last name. Anyway, he's from BYU. But we end up going with Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, which I think's a good one also. I don't know. I was just higher on Kingsley, maybe. Maybe it's just me thinking, the Polynesian would be better offensive tackle, maybe. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I was just higher on him for some reason. But then of course you know who he eventually went to. He went to the Chiefs like 4 picks later. And I was like, oh, so that means he's going to be like an all pro. They're just going to plug him in there. And he's going to be an all pro because you know how the Chiefs been drafting.
Yeah, and the Chiefs they also got Xavier Worthy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
they still also had a really good draft. They had Xavier Worthy, Kingsley, and then there was some other pick. Let me find.
yeah, the Chiefs. You know who really had the best draft though?
Who?
The Eagles.
I mean, they're right.
They got like the two of the biggest corners in the draft somehow.
I definitely thought they did. I mean, there were a lot of teams that did a really good job. My Saints did a great job.
The Titans did a pretty good job. Even though Joe Alt wasn't there, I was still fine with J.C. Latham.
I think everybody did a good job per se. Maybe you can make that argument for the Giants, but the situation that they're dealing with Daniel Jones. But everybody besides the Falcons, I think, did a satisfying job.
Yeah, the Titans, they drafted like 3 automatic starters in the first 4 rounds. They got, of course, J.C. Latham. He's going to be starting at left tackle. They also drafted in the second round T'Vondre Sweat, defensive lineman from Texas. And I know a lot of people were upset. There's apparently some Titans fan upset with that pick, saying he's lazy and because he got a DWI or something like that. But I think here's the thing though. People change. I think T'Vondre Sweat, I think with this pick, and he actually showed up. All the Texas players literally showed up at the Texas field, and they was all working together. And they was asking each player. They asked T'Vondre. They was like, "Yo, why are you here?" He was like, "Because I want to prove everybody wrong. Everybody's saying that I'm gonna be absolutely terrible. I want to prove everybody wrong." And plus, the dude is absolutely massive. He's 366 pounds. But
massive, yeah.
Yeah, but he is massive. But I don't really have any complaints with him. He did look good in his tape. But I will say one thing though. I'm not calling him fat, but I think he needs to lose some weight.
So basically, you're calling. That's exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
good Lord.
But here's the thing. I'm sorry, he needs to lose some weight, but not a lot though. And there's even some Titans fans who agree with me, thinking that he does need to lose a little bit of weight.
Yeah. Wait, who are you talking about?
T'Vondre Sweat.
Oh.
Well, ain't that something? Ain't that something?
Okay. So before we move on to the next thing, I was gonna see. I think it was in the let me check. I think it was in the 5th round, the 4th. The Raiders selected Cameron Richardson at Mississippi State, which I mean I don't know how good he is. Maybe Mississippi State fans could let me know. But did y'all see what they tweeted out for a second before they deleted it?
Oh yeah, I saw it. He ran a 0.540 time.
Yeah, so he ran a 4.3440, and of course the Raiders tweeted out "speed kills," and I was like, "Oh God, why would you tweet that out as the Raiders?"
Yeah, Yeah, Raiders social media manager about to get fired.
Maybe. I do remember that. That was funny. Same here. It's the same type of deal here with the graphics guy for the Falcons.
Penis.
Thanks for blurting it out. Ha ha! Penis.
Yeah, my favorite player, Michael. Not gonna say it.
Yeah. No, it's fair. It's fair. Funny. Okay. So before we wrap up the show, I do want to go ahead and touch on this a bit. So we did finally, after a while of waiting, get some news about the upcoming College Football 25 game. And it's some pretty interesting news, of course. I think what I saw was that the main thing is that it's going to have several different covers for each and every conference.
Yep.
So with different positions for each. So this is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah. Bad year for the Pac-12 to go out of existence.
Yeah, really. No kidding. And I hope for the SEC they choose the right people.
Nico Iamaleava.
Even if they don't, I would be happy with them if they, or not even really happy. I would just be fine if they went with somebody like from, LSU or Mississippi State or Ole Miss, somebody who we aren't rivals with, because there's just that certain, bad taste in my mouth if I, open up a game of NCAA or College Football 25, and then I look and it's freaking Carson Beck on the cover. I just wouldn't be able to enjoy that.
Yeah, Carson Beck's on the cover. I would just throw the game. I would just throw the case away.
Either that or Graham Mertz or one of those guys. So hopefully it doesn't pan out like that, because I do want to. I don't think they'll. I have no idea. I have no idea what they'll do. Literally no idea in the world what the plan is. But I guess sooner than later we'll get more news on it. Hopefully we'll get to see more. We'll get to see more tomfoolery, such as the clip I'm about to show right here. Look at this, just standing there. So you got that, and there's more about this one right here. Here we go. And my favorite play right here. Stepping back to pass. He looks. Oh, he goes down. Nope. Perfect pass. Perfect pass as he's flopping. Look at that.
Was it complete?
Ball play. Watch this. And then he leaps up into the air and catches it. First down. Yeah. You got that. Oh, and it gets even better. Look here. You got that too. Friggin' Vanderbilt quarterback.
This is fake because Vanderbilt's got a packed stadium.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. I didn't think.
Oh yeah. And of course, the dude makes that kind of pass against Tennessee of all times, of all teams.
Yeah. Well, this happened to me specifically, so that's why it's so funny.
Yeah.
Like how? Like how does this happen?
You should have put the one clip from when he played Dynasty Mode. Well, it was like in your Rage video. Like a Tennessee player intercepted the ball and then he fumbled immediately. And you got mad. He was like, he fumbled an interception.
Well, I think the first thing I said was just a pained, why? Why? Yeah, something along those lines. That I remember that like it was yesterday. That really, really pissed me off. We're going to get more tomfoolery like that in the future, I know.
Yeah, the game better not suck.
It shouldn't. The more news we get from it, the more confident I am that it's not going to be bad, per se.
Yep, and in May we'll actually get a full trailer.
Yeah, that's what I've been waiting on. So hopefully we get it sooner than later. And I mean, obviously we know the date, but still.
Yeah, and apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently you can, pre-order the game from GameStop.
That right?
Yeah. I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't know if it's available yet.
I don't think you're available to pre-order just yet, but you might be able to be after the first trailer. I mean, we're still something months away.
I'm of course about to. Next time I go to town, that's probably what I'm gonna ask about.
Oh, just seeing if
Yeah, if
they
you
have
can.
that. Yeah, no, definitely ask them. That'd be interesting news to hear about on the show, whether or not they've got it available or open.
So
I,
yeah, they did reveal like the release date for the game.
yeah,
What is it, like July 18th or 19th?
it's it's around there. It's pretty close to what you just said. You might have been right on the
Yeah.
money though. I because I don't know the true date.
Yeah. They
Because to be honest, I haven't been keeping track of
Yeah.
it. It's still pretty far away, but
I'm just sad they haven't released the release date for the trailer.
yeah, we won't really get a trailer per se until later on in May, so we still got a little bit to wait on that note. But it won't be too much longer. I mean, we've blasted through this month quicker than anybody else thought, so it wouldn't surprise me if we're 2 weeks from now. We're like, how in the world has it been 2 weeks? That's crazy. I'm trying to find. There's one more clip I was trying to find that I was going to show you guys, but I don't think I have it anywhere. So,
Sorry to interrupt this podcast. I wanted to ask Lucas. Did you see what Gunther just did?
Oh, what'd he do?
He made Xavier Woods tap out to the STF.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it wasn't like a regular STF like John Cena does or whatever. It was like a modified one where like he had like his arms kind of like twisted almost.
I might have to go back and check that out.
I think he was doing the Chris Hero one. I'm probably speaking gibberish to most probably everyone in here, but it's like a cravat like grip or whatever that Chris Hero did or whatever. It was like a wrestler on the Indies in 2000s.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
did Liv Morgan win yet?
Down bad. Down
No.
bad.
I was just wanting to see what your reaction to that was.
Down bad.
Yeah, I don't want to. You know me. Yeah, you know me. Anyway, that's probably going to do it for tonight's show. I've got some things I need to take care of, some more group projects. This is my last week of classes.
Oh, really?
My last week of actual class. I think next week, like next Tuesday, is like my actual last day. But this is really the last week that I'm doing most assignments. So, of course, they're throwing everything on me, as you would expect. So I'm going to be knuckling down this week. Not much else I can do about it other than to do so. So that's all there is to it. Fellas, great to have you on for another episode of the Vols podcast. And, of course, thank you to all the wonderful people who participated in the live chat or viewed this show on Twitter. If you haven't already, make sure to give this a like and sub up to Squidtard Sports as well. I know I haven't posted in a while, but I'm going to get right back into it. Of course, like I mentioned, I've been very, very busy trying to manage everything. And that's all there is to it. So I'll see you guys next time. And you guys got any finalizing words for the people on here?
Nope. The only thing I gotta say, well, guys, I guess I got one thing to say. Just go Vols. That's all.
Great words to say, Lucas.
Go Vols and tighten up. Let's go.
Well, I'll just stay quiet on that one. I'll let that.
Yes,
one.
finally. Finally.
I ain't got nothing to say about the Titans, man. Just unfortunately, I'll have to save all my comments. I'll have to keep my mouth shut at least until the season starts, when eventually the Titans start losing.
We ain't gonna start losing, bro.
Anyway, as always, thank you to all of you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video or in the next live stream, whichever one I do first. And as always, of course, power to Tardaria, but more importantly, over here, go Vols, baby! Woo!
Saints suck.
Foul. No, 2 fouls.